Good morning, traders. This is Brian Weber for technicalanalysis.research.com. This is the Euro-Dollar video report for the 10th of May 2012. So first of all, we're going to look at what the Euro done yesterday just to cover our analysis. Now, if you guys watched the Euro-Dollar video yesterday, we had two options. One was to go long if you broke above the central pivot here, hold it as support, and get long in the market. Okay. The other option was to get short if we broke the DS1 level, which is here, and trade this down. Trade the breakout down towards the DS2 level, and then if that gave way, trade it down towards the 129.05 level. Now yesterday, as you guys can see, we broke the DS1 level, we hit the first target at DS2, and we just fell 5 pips short of our second target. We made a low about 29.10. Our second target was 129.05, so we're only about 5 pips short of our second target. Of course, we're always trailing that stop down anyway and locking in a nice profit on the trade. Okay, so the sustained move on the bearish trend on the higher time frames was confirmed on the lower time frame, which is 15-minute chart. But again, since then, we've just bounced off of there, and we've continued now to put in higher lows and higher highs. So there is no sustained move to the downside since this initial low here. OF has the pullback, another attempt at that level, but then we formed a basing pattern right here. Which is a support level. Again, as I mentioned, all we've done now is putting higher highs and higher lows on price. So what am I looking at today? Well, today we're in an overall range because we do have this 130.05 level up here down towards this 129.10. Okay, so we are trapped really within roughly about this 100 pip range. It's roughly about 100 pips. Okay, and all the action it trades within here is really range bound strategies rather than trend trading strategies. So what I'm going to look for now that we're breaking above the daily pivot here, I'm going to look to see if we can get another little bit of a sustained move up, see if it can come back towards that daily pivot near to or touching it. Okay, it doesn't have to touch it, but as long as it comes back to and we can see a formation that it may be holding as support, would be good enough. And from there, I've been looking for bullish candle formations backed up with one of the indicators to get long in the market and trade this back up towards that 130.100 level right here. Okay, the resistance point is at 130.05. That's basically what I'm going to look to do on the long side. I do have my options to go short, but I'm going to look for this daily pivot now that it's broke to hold as support, or look like it's trying to hold as support, and try and get long in the market, trade this up towards the 130.100 level. If we do make it up to that 130.100 level, I will cover my longs. I will exit my longs, take my profit, and see what happens. If we're going to see a sustained move to the upside, the 130.05 level has to be taken out. Okay, so again, we would have to see a break above that level and retest it as support again in order to get long in the market. And again, I've been trading that up towards this confluence zone up here, which is the DR2 and MS1 levels. Okay, so we've got a pivot confluence zone up here, and that's around the 130.32 up towards 130.43. Okay, so I got two targets to the upside, but there's two different trades. So again, if you hold this central pivot as support and get a buy signal, get long in the market, trade it up towards the 130.100 level, cover your longs, stand aside, and see what happens. If you do break above that 130.100 level and hold it as support, get long again and trade it up towards that 130.43 level. Okay. Now the other option is if you do hold central pivot as support and we do get long, okay, up towards that 130.300 level, we may actually see a sell signal rather than a breakout and hold it as support. We may actually see this hold as resistance once again to give us a sell signal. So the 130.300 level is pretty much crucial today, because today that could be a level where we buy at or sell at, if we do even reach that level, by the way. Okay, so really what we'll be looking for is a bounce there, and for me to confirm that this is going to hold as resistance would be a close underneath this DR1 level. Okay, so if we come up here, bounce off the 3300 level or the 130.05 level, and we close anywhere below this DR1 level, then that would pretty much be a confirmation for me that we're probably going to see another decline in the market. And therefore, I'd look for a little retrace. I would just sell on the close of the DR1 below that level. I'd wait for the close and I'd wait for some little pullback within this region here. Okay, when I say this region, I'm talking about these two resistance planks. So a little close below the DR1 level and a little pullback. I don't have to wait for the candle close in this level. As long as price just comes moving back up, you can enter on the active candle to get short in the market. Okay, and again, my first target here would be the daily pivot, and if the daily pivot gave way, my second target would be the 129.10 level down here. Okay, so I do have multiple options today. Break above the central pivot, hold it as support, trade it up towards that 130.100 level, exit my trade, wait to see what happens at this level. Again, this level is pretty crucial, so I don't want to give back my profit if I do get a long trade here. And it's all about this level, so I break above this level, hold it as support. Okay, that's the 130.05 level. I'd look to get long again, trade it up towards that 130.43 level. If we make it up to this level, but it holds a resistance, and we get a close back below the DR1 level, I'd look for a little retrace back to this zone, and then get short, trade it down a daily pivot, and if daily pivot gives way, trade it down towards the 129.10. So really it's just all about range trading strategies today. The only breakout that we can trade today based on the current price action, obviously things can change, would be a breakout of that 130.05 level. So you'd be breaking this 100 pip range right here, or 95 pip range, to trade it up towards that 130.43. Okay, so that's our couple of different, or three different scenarios that can happen here. We can have two longs, or we can have one long and one short. For the other scenarios would be for a break of that 129.10 level, but that's going to be a little bit tricky because we've got multiple support confluence zones just below that support level that really there's not a lot of great deal of profit. The time you break out of these, you really have to wait for a pullback in order to maximize your profit because the next support regions are pretty much close by. Okay, you couldn't just trade a breakout of these zones here. For instance, if you had a fall here and we broke out, and if you just traded the breakout, well, you're only a few pips away until the next support, so it's not going to be all that good on your risk reward ratios. So if you had a breakout here, we'd really have to see a pullback, hold that resistance, and then get short from the higher levels down to these to maximize your profit potentials. So really all I'm going to be concentrating on is my three possible trading opportunities that I just mentioned. And that is, once again, just to clarify that, a move down a central pivot, hold a support, or near to central pivot, hold a support, and I'll get long up towards that 133.100 level, exit my long trade, and see what happens in this level. Again, if we close back below the DR1 level, look for a small retrace on an active candle back within the zone, and look to get short down at a daily pivot. And if daily pivot gives way, back down towards that 129.10 level. If we do break above the 133.05 level, look for it to hold as support, and if it does hold as support, make it a buy signal, trade it up towards the DR1 level, which is around that 130.43. Okay, so three different possible opportunities. None of them will probably set up, but it's something for us to watch out for. Okay, guys, have a good one.